Recent multi-agent systems can tackle software development, but they often lack domain-specific support and flexible human interaction. We introduce ContractHyperAgent, a system that lets users develop smart contracts from scratch without expert knowledge, while ensuring security checks during generation. It uses GitHub issues for user-friendly interaction, allowing you to review and revise code in natural language. First, we will go through our system overview.
We will use HyperAgent as shorthand for ContractHyperAgent.
Here's how our system works. When you have a new software idea, you create a GitHub repository, set up our GitHub action, and then create an issue describing your requirement. The action listens for these issues, calls our server to generate the software, and pushes it to your repository. You can then review the code and request revisions by updating the issue until you're satisfied. For users who are not familiar with the GitHub environment, they can also use our tool via a Telegram chatbot. I will show you a common use case of our tool. First, create a new GitHub repository. To allow HyperAgent to access your repository, you'll need to generate a GitHub access token in the settings and add it as a secret variable. This token is used to push the generated code and create the pull request to your repository. Next, go to the Actions tab and set up a new workflow. You'll find the workflow script in the guidelines of the HyperAgent action that was published on GitHub Action Marketplace. Copy and paste the script and commit it. Now your repository is set up to listen for your requirements via GitHub Issues. Go to the Issues tab and create an issue with your requirements.
For instance, create an Ethereum smart contract for an auction system.
The GitHub action will then trigger our server to generate the application. You can monitor the process in the Actions tab. Once the generation is complete, the code will be pushed to a new branch, and a pull request will be created. You can go into and review the generated code.
If you want to make changes, simply update the issue with your new requirements. Like adding a requirement, the auction must use a specific ERC20 token for bids.
HyperAgent will then regenerate the app. A new pull request will be created with the newly generated code following your updated requirements. Alternatively, you can use our Telegram bot to interact with HyperAgent. Search for our bot and follow its instructions to develop your application. For example, let's create a smart contract for an auction system. The bot will generate the code and provide you with a link to the GitHub repository where the source code was stored. Then, you can review and request the bot to refactor the smart contract. The revised source code will be automatically committed to the GitHub repository. Back to the overview of HyperAgent system. The HyperAgent system includes 4 main parts: the server space, the GitHub space, the Telegram bot, and human interaction. Built on MetaGPT, HyperAgent interprets user requirements and assembles a specialized team of AI agents in roles such as product manager, architect, and engineer, simulating a real-world development team. Its unique feature is the HyperAgent role, which analyzes project requirements and automatically forms the right team. For example, in decentralized finance smart contracts that require solid security attention, the teams would involve a contract auditor for security checks. HyperAgent also adapts role prompts and templates to emphasize security for smart contracts. ContractHyperAgent aims to improve the automation of the organization and coordination of software development teams specific to Solidity smart contracts. The ContractHyperAgent services, along with GitHub Actions, repositories, and a Telegram bot, provide a user-friendly method for developers to build smart contracts from scratch using natural language descriptions without needing to be an expert.